what if TNC picked the Naga here instead? To try and not allow Fnatic, but also not waste a ban, but also then they have our ultimate to try and catch the storm.
I mean, if it was a top game, maybe TB Naga, that's a little bit greedy. I mean, we have seen in the past.
We've seen greedy.
Need your hammer Naga.
Yeah, we have seen it. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah,
+3 Naga, +4 Naga. We have seen it. It's
KP,
not impossible.
KP used to play that. That's a KP hero.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not gonna go
close,
with it. They're gonna
close.
go with the tiny. I think maybe we should have drafted for them and picked up the Naga there. But what do you think of the tiny?
It's
Gives some
approach,
much needed
right?
kill threat. Yeah, they need some damage like in the early to mid game. They can't while they wait for TP to come online because Tusk, Phoenix don't really provide that.
I'm a little bit
think
worried
there
for them
is-
though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think there's enough, I guess, space made with their draft so far for this Terrorblade? Because it feels like early game they're really going to struggle, right? Because that Tiny still doesn't come online. He's not that strong in the early. Terrorblade definitely isn't. The Tusk still needs quite a few levels to get anywhere. What's going to be needed as their last pick to ensure that space for the Terrorblade?
Right now, I just don't know how they team fight ever. Like, Phoenix is super hard countered, right? You have Snapfire, Mirana. This egg is never gonna go off. Tusk and Tiny, they can maybe make some plays happen, but once you blow your combo, that's it. What do you have after that?
Yeah, and we've already seen them struggle in the first game with showing that restraint, pulling back, resetting between fights. So to know that they only really have one opening window as their win condition for team fights and then having a reset, I do kind of feel for them in terms of their draft. Maybe they have something planned for the last pick we just have no idea about. But GoDz, on the side of Fnatic, we're really liking the look of it. So what's the last pick what do they need in the last pick to round it out?
I'm still, I guess, thinking there's a chance this Axe goes safe lane. Just because last time they picked it, that's where it went. I think it's an okay Legion commander game. You don't have anyone to buff up with the press the attack, but against the TB, it seems like a decent choice. They can run Legion with the Mirana, perhaps, or you want to have an offlaner that sets up the arrow. That's the other kind of play that we sometimes see.
Have we seen Fnatic Legion? We have, haven't we?
Yes, it's a death special. He's played it at least, I think, twice, maybe even a third time. He's a
Oh wow, okay.
He is a Legion specialist.
Legion is good. I think Centaur could also be really good for the disengage as soon as they pop meta, or to get on top of the Phoenix egg. They definitely have some options. As you said, Axe could be carry, could be offlane. Very flexible right now.
Yeah. Oh, look,
Legion,
maybe
yeah,
TNC
Legion away.
thought, maybe TNC thought the same thing, that Fnatic were leading up to the Legion, and they did the picking it instead of allowing them to pick it.
Yeah, definitely partly maybe a block pick for Fnatic, but of course, if they were worried about Fnatic, they did have 2 bans they could have used on it. But Legion with these hyper carries like TB is just always sick because that Ag Shard it's honestly one of the best Ag Shards in the game. It's so broken, and TB is going to be an unkillable monster. Plus, it gives them another way to catch the storm, which I think they just need in general. So, really good for TNC as well.
I want to go back and quote you what you said yesterday. Do you reckon the Terrorblade's going to turn into a demon you don't want to F with?
He will. Ooh. Ooh. Well, I don't know if actually. I think that maybe not against Dark Warden. Maybe not. Ooh.
I don't want to see this again. I just saw this yesterday for 104 minutes.
Black,
no.
This time, I'm not predicting a 35-minute game this time.
Oh my god. Tag me out, coach. I'm out.
Yep. Nat, you good to be an analyst for this game?
Oh, 100%, 100%. I love it. Black's like, I didn't want to see Nyx in the first game, and we got him, and now I don't want to see Awkward in the second game, but we've got him. I do have to ask, though, which side are you going to pick? Which draft do you like the look of? Doesn't matter about game length. I just want to know which team you think is going to be able to execute their draft better. You want to go first, Black?
I go first. All right, I'll be saying Fnatic. I like this Storm Spirit quite a lot. I don't really think they did enough to address it. Phoenix should not have a game at all. And Arc Warden have no problem farming down there either.
Yeah, I mean, by the way that you guys have made it sound, it's essentially just going to be a 5v4 at this rate. Fnatic have that hero advantage. But GoDz, where are you laying?
I'm going TNC. I'm hopeful for a game 3. I also have seen Tims play these like roaming Tusk and just wreak havoc. And I also think Raven's gonna be spending a lot of time hitting creeps, much like if anything, I feel like TB can come online faster than the Arc Warden. So I also just don't like Arc Warden. I want Arc Warden to lose, so I'm manifesting a game 3. That's what I'm gonna try to do.
It lost yesterday.
Well, there you go. And I also the Axe, right? We've seen, we already said it, but Axe doesn't win a lot of games. And then knowing Arc Warden hasn't really won many either. I also would love it to go to a game 3, so I'm going to side with TNC too. I am going to ask time predictions though now. I'm going to put mine at 78 minutes.
78.
Anything above 60, GoDz can solo cast. So.
At
Be
60
prepared,
minutes, you're
guys.
tapping out.
Yeah. This is my limit.
Well,
I'm saying, yeah, 65.
65. All right, well, we'll see who's going to get closer, but I'll let you guys take it away for game number 2.
I wish we'd book you for the past the full hour black, but hopefully, you know, I don't end up on my own for this one as TNC Fnatic game 2.
But really, like, I'm having flashbacks from yesterday. It was not a pretty sight.
Was it a fun game at least? It sounds like the ending was a bit sad.
It was a fun ending, but all the way leading up to there, basically what happened, there was one fight, everybody bought back, and there was no fight for 8 minutes. There was one fight, everybody bought back. That kept happening for like 60 minutes probably. The fights were really good, don't get me wrong, but the time in between, I was kind of like, what is happening, guys? Like, you can't just be farming creeps, you have 90k net worth.
See how this one unravels. From the picks alone, you know, definitely has the makings of a game that could go late.
Yep.
See if that is going to be the case, though.
Which TNC should win. They have Legion Commander, infinite scaling right there.
Looking for me?
Scaling for who?
That's a good question. Who's gonna win the
Is
duel?
Everyone always says infinite scaling for Legion, and my counter argument is infinite scaling for your opponent. You lose the duels, they're scaling.
That's true.
Well, hopefully no lost duels this game. As Hawk going to be playing the offlane. It looks like Tusk is going to be up there with him, Phoenix. So it's going to be dual melee against the Arc Warden, but Arc Warden not maybe the strongest laning hero.
Yeah, especially against like Snowball can be pretty rough if they get on top of him with Snowball plus tag team. It might be a little bit of trouble. But Snapfire is pretty good against Tusk in general. You can just pokey him out of the shards. And he should be fine as well.
Mid lane, we've got the Armel Tiny up against Chuan on the Storm Spirit. Hero we've had Armel play several times throughout his competitive history, so something he's going to be fairly familiar on. Down bottom, the Phoenix TB up against the Axe Piranha. Already early Metamorph being popped just to kind of secure the first wave. And we'll see how things kind of unravel. Any lanes you think gonna be kind of key for this game?
I just want to see how much the Terrorblade can farm down there before being relegated to the jungle. Like, there shouldn't really be much action happening top, to be honest. Mid lane, maybe if we get a tower toss, it could be a kill. So, any action lane should be bottom. Like, maybe a random arrow hitting or something like that.
Yeah, unless like someone like the House of Rome's mid for a toss back, it doesn't feel like Storm should be in too much trouble. Maybe when the runes start coming out, that's where the support can rotate. But early on, it will be Axe testing the Phoenix pulls. Already got the small camp pull, so that's a good start for TNC at least to get this pull going. As Jabs will look to deward the big camp, and we'll see if Boomy on the Phoenix can re-block that camp. Doesn't want to give Miranda that easy farm with the arrow.
Yeah, only level 1 right now, though, to the Jabs level 2. So he has to be careful. He has no dive available.
Jabs maybe knowing this. Yeah, Jabs is going to leap and look for this kill. He knows Boomy just wants to die for it, it seems.
Oh, there's an illusion coming, though.
Oh, okay. Wow. TB helping out his buddy. Maybe he's not dead. Another leap in. Time the Fire Spirits pretty well here. He needs to maybe get a Tango going. It's actually Jabs who's used the leap charges, and he's in trouble. He's got one to go, so he may be okay after this, but that TB illusion play is absolutely sick.
Oh,
he didn't micro it up the hill, but that's where you need to share control, because maybe Boomy could have done some body blocking.
Yeah, that's why I like to pick Naga quite a bit. You just send these illusions on the supports, and your support is like, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
GoDz at least is in a position to double stack. You can stack the neutrals and ancients as top lane. Looks like they made an aggressive play. Legion getting kind of low.
Aquarden
I feel like
is...
Phoenix should have maybe contested this double stack. Because GoDz, yeah, should have maybe known this was going to come.
I think so too. You just chase him because you can't really bully out the Axe right now. And these stacks are going to be very big for the Axe later on. He almost has his Ring of Health, so there's no real stopping him anymore at this point. Aquarden though, he only missed, what, 3 CS so far? So he's very rich himself.
That's a hero that can be hard to last hit with too at times. I mean, he goes for the Quelling Blade and everything, knowing that he wants to secure as much as possible.
Yeah, this range Quelling Blade meta has really kicked off now, ever since the item was made cheaper. How's mid lane looking?
Mid lane, there's a rotation. There's looking for a tossback. Armel. I think the glyph was actually used to keep a creep alive there and stop that toss. Maybe I'm not entirely sure, but that I don't think that glyph was accidental.
It didn't look accidental, no.
Or, I mean, I don't think, and I also don't think it was used for any other lane. I'm pretty sure he used it to stop Armel's toss back. That was potentially a really sick play from Chuan. Is the 4-minute rune coming up? Armel going to get at bottom with the avalanche. As bottom lane, Gabby getting chased away. Jabs gets his way away.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be relegated to the jungle after the meta ends here. Don't think you can contest his Axe anymore.
Which seems fine, right? Like, you're not too worried if your TNC and TB's headed to the jungle at level 4, level 5, right?
Oh, yeah, that's completely fine. And Phoenix can just soak up the XP bottom. How's Aquarden looking? He's still farming very, very well. They're not really able to pressure him at all.
Yeah. You mentioned the Snapfire just able to secure this lane. Going, and something I really like, going for the Scatter Blast plus Fire Snap cookie build, not going for the little shredder.
Stupendous.
Yeah, thinking much more about the lane rather than killing the egg later on. I mean, you can just get 1 level into shredder anyway later on. It's the same purpose, the same effect. He's very close to his Midas already. 500 away only.
Definitely a scary thought that they've not been able to do anything to shut him down. And Legion not having the best lane, only 19 last hits. So, I mean, you're running dual melee against double range lane. That, to some extent, should be what happens. Like, you're not really... It's not like a pub game where you can just snowball on in on Tusk and...
Yeah.
Have to find kills. You're gonna feed if you do that. And there's cookie and stuff.
The only time you can ever really beat a lane like that, I feel, is when they're out of position and you catch them. But it's their mistake, you know? Like, you usually don't win this kind of lane by outplaying them.
Any chance we see Storm TP to one of these side lanes? He's healing up back at base. I wonder if he goes for any kind of a play up
Oh,
top,
he's
for
6.
example.
Yeah, he's TPing top right now.
All
What
right,
I
here we
expect
go.
is the question.
Falls over the trees for now. They've got the wave back though, so if anything, Storm's been missing for a long time. They kind of know he's missing, but they're going to zip in onto Bok. Holds onto the pressy attack for now, but the Snapfire cookie stun is going to be there, and Bok
Nice.
gives up the first blood.
Yeah, very good rotation from the Storm. A couple of stacks to clear as well if he wants to do that. Maybe he's going to leave it for the Arc Warden. But his rotation is very good because it also secures the Arc Warden Midas. 80 gold away from it. After the small camp, he should have it.
That is pretty damn good timing for an Arc Warden Midas. This is a hero that normally doesn't get given the best laning stage. We're going to see a similar TP down bottom. It's the Tiny from Armel making the same play the Storm did. Can they kill this Death Axe?
He's way tankier though.
But, yep, it is going to be a Phase Boots Tiny running on in. Go for the Avalanche toss here. Can Death survive his way through this one? Can't go for a TP because he didn't have the mana. I think if he had the mana for a TP, he may have been able to just TP in front of them there and survive, but he gets brought down.
Yeah, and Gabby never went to the jungle actually. Managed to sustain himself in the lane. The pair of tangos that was delivered from the courier. And he's very happy with how this is going. He's actually out farming the Axe, which is pretty
Armel's
rare.
evading though. Tiny comes in, doesn't hit the Avalanche. Morana quick on the fingers with the leap, and now Chuan looking for a turnaround. Can they land an arrow here? Armel trying to dodge it, but it hasn't actually been thrown yet. The toss back as Tims rotates in, and Tiny very tanky here. can't really be brought down. He's trying to come back in to contest these stacks, but unsuccessful in doing so. As the D-Ward did end up happening, and things will settle down.
I'm a little bit worried for his Legion commander. Like, you pick this hero to win the lane and have a decent mid game, but he's getting pretty much nothing here. Still level 5 as well.
Well, we'll see what the answer is going to be, because you've got to imagine, yeah, Raven's just going to continue to accelerate on this Arc Warden. I mean, I guess it's TB versus Arc Warden late game. Obviously, I mean, TB doesn't really have an answer to the bubble without the MKB, but is it a terrible matchup for TB, or is it playable?
It's actually not that bad anymore ever since Swift Link was introduced. You have a very reliable way to get on top of him. And you didn't have that before Swift Blink because you didn't want to litter your inventory with just a Blink Dagger. So this late game scenario is a lot more manageable now than it was before. It's still pretty rough, especially if you don't itemize into the BKB, which we have, not BKB, MKB, which we have seen some Terrorblades do. You just can't hit him at all through the bubble. But we'll see. Like, I think it's just a must-have. Like, you need MKB. There was this one game where In Your Dream chose not to build MKB, and he missed so many kills just because the enemies got bubble, and he couldn't hit them.
Yeah. That's the thing, it's not just the Arc Warden who's getting bubbled, it's his teammates as well, so...
Yeah.
We're going to see Gabby TP up top. I was about to say, I mean, similar story with the very farm-centric game, but unlike previous games, I feel like neither team has made that rotation to the offlane to try to take a T1 tower yet. Finally, we see Gabby TP up there with Metamorphosis, so it looks like TNC will be the first to make this move. And Fnatic seeing this may make the same play down bottom, but it does feel like this is coming a bit later.
Yeah. But it was a very good rotation because Storm was actually moving down there as well. So he dodges the Storm and gets the top tower, which is the area he wants to end up in anyways, because he can farm much more efficiently over there. And Arc Warden is not really a hero that can pressure a tower or defend a tower this early on.
DJ looks for the deny, also reveals his position. I think he's hoping to go for a cookie out up top. Has a TP, yep, cookie TP. He knows the exact spot to go to hide, and Bok looking for him, doesn't find him. Sneaky play, doesn't get the tower deny, but definitely worth going for there for DJ.
Yeah, he didn't really have any other play on the map anyways. Region rune on Storm now. That could potentially be a playmaking tool.
By the way, big Ancient stack on the Fnatic side.
Yeah.
And he already farmed out most of the Radiant stacks, and...
He needs to clear that soon, because Arc Warden can't farm those.
Yeah.
He's going right now, actually.
Top lane there. Waiting to see if DJ pokes his nose out, but he knows it's not a safe place to be on the map. And this is where you kind of mentioned, you know, TB TPing top, taking this T1 tower means this entire dire jungle area is now kind of TNC place to farm. That's where the TB is going to want to play as much as possible.
Yeah, and this is really also why Terrorblade is so popular. Your Conjure Image can just push out lanes way further than other conventional carries could. And
Yeah.
him and Naga are really the only ones that can do that. Sure, Naga, they're gonna be a duel.
They thought about it going in with the ice shot, but when they saw then they saw the TPs and thought better of it.
Yeah.
Now look at the T1 bottom tower. So a bit later that Fnatic gets tower, but they've managed to pick up a 2k gold lead after farming their Ancient stack. So Axe, Blink Dagger queued up, has 1500 gold.
And that's gonna be the timing they're waiting for. And Storm is gonna be picking up his Kaya. He's going Kaya Sage relatively early, I'd imagine, just to be able to survive through the duel and the tiny combination. Because they don't really have a whole lot of disable for him, right? Other than the duel, there's no great lockdown. Like an Avalanche, not really what you're looking for.
Level 25 tiny, triple toss. That's where the lockdown is.
I hate that down. Like you never land.
I mean, I'm sure the smart money is on this game. We will see a level 25 tiny, but before then, we're going to see a smoke king from Fnatic.
He's going to get caught out here.
Yeah, he has Sunder available, but this should be a kill here. They've got the Mortimer's Kisses. They throw them out, and Gabby gets pulled back in, goes for the Sunder, but Xuan knows it's coming, so he just zips over it.
He could have potentially lived if he microed his illusion away and Sunders the illusion instead. But it's a very hard play regardless, because Storm still had a lot of mana. And
there were still more kisses too. I feel like even if he gets that Sunder off, he still dies.
Yeah, it's like a, what, 5% sort of play.
Amel invis in mid. Gets the toss back into the Avalanche duel.
Nice combo.
That's gonna be a nice pick-off, not letting him get any leaps off.
Yeah. I like this itemization from the Mirana actually. Going threats, really tanky, 1200 health, but not enough to survive there.
Ah. This is a build. Ooh, hold on that thought. Armel goes charging in forward with the phase boots. They want to get this DJ Snapfire that's been so problematic, and with an avalanche toss, they got it. TNC with numbers in the mid lane and a Metamorph TB. I like the aggressive play, getting the TB involved before this Arc Warden is ready to fire.
Yeah, fine. That's what I want to see from TNC. Like, this is what they're really good at. And this is what I love them to do. And now they're invading the triangle, taking the big creeps away from the enemy, probably getting a deep warden as well. Because the Dire lineup is quite greedy. Like Storm, Arc Warden, Axe, they're pretty greedy as a tri-core. And you gotta punish them. Like that they had 2k gold right now is actually a little bit of a problem for TNC.
Yeah, they've just had no answer to what Arc Warden's been doing farming away. This Fnatic will go for a smoke. They've already lost his mid tier on tower, but another kill on Gabby would be huge. From the Storm, there is a Sunray heal. Took the follow-up. It is going to catch the Southern Gabby, but where is Death with a blink call onto 2? The follow-up arrow is going to bring down the TB before he can even use the Sunder. Death with the perfect initiation plays, chasing, looking for more, but the snowball is there from Tim. Just sets up the activate, still getting lower. Dunk should be coming soon, and Death is going to be looking to use his movement speed to chase for more. The Kisses going to clip a couple of these heroes, gets Boomy low. No, it's all the egg going to be used with it. Fall from Death. He does make a nice little turnaround play with Armel getting the Mirana kill, and that will force Fnatic back, but they've already lost their TB for a second time back-to-back. Is there anything to stop Raven's TB? Armel's toss was 1 second away, and Death with a blink dagger. He blinks south, dodges the Tiny, and should be able to get back to safety.
Yeah, a whole lot worse. Good recognition here from Raven that he can just TP out. Spells on cooldown. If he dies there, it's really bad for Fnatic, but the way it went, Terrorblade dying once more. And you don't really ever want to be on the back foot against Arc Warden.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, doing that TP 1 second before Toss was back up, he knew the exact time where he could get that TP off successfully.
Yep, a little bit later, and you're gone. Axe also managing to blink out just in time. There's a smoke coming in, though.
Find the Axe, Avalanche Toss. The second they respawn, they were chasing out these Fnatic heroes in this bottom jungle. And they find the Death Axe, who had a great blink call in that last fight to make sure the TB didn't get off asunder.
Yep, calling them out on their play, I like it. They showed on 3 lanes Fnatic, that is an unspoken rule of Dota. You can't do that and get away unpunished, and they don't.
Yep. Well, if TNC continue to make these aggressive plays, that's the TNC playstyle that we're usually used to. And with a blink dagger up on Armel's Tiny, you got to imagine that's at least somewhat the plan here. They can't afford to have Gabby continuing off. As we've seen, they need to create space for him by playing aggressively on this map.
Yeah. Storm Spirit with another region rune. Terrorblade has died here once before. Has to be a little bit careful. There is some backup, but now he's being left alone. Mirana ult is activated.
What can they do with this one? TB's already hiding in this top lane, and Mirana kind of down here alone, but it's the main fight around this river where Xuan has to zip himself away, but Armel's there with an avalanche into a toss. They get the pull, but the Death Call is there to try and bail the Storm out. It doesn't buy enough time because there's a Walrus Punch to try and finish him off, but he gets out after the punch finishes. The egg damage not enough. They were trying to get the kill on the Storm and couldn't do so without the jewel.
Yep. Kaya Sanj. Power of 25% status resistance.
Yeah.
Such a good item.
Plus, yeah, the strength you're getting from it as well.
Yeah. I love this itemization from him. Like any other item there, he would have died. 100%.
Well, TNC unsuccessfully when finding these pickoffs, and it's not for lack of trying. I mean, we kind of asked, we raised the question. Mid lane, Storm zips in from afar. The arrow is going to actually miss because of the Vortex pulling him a little bit further away. And now the blinking call from Death. Going to be there to secure things as Xuan gets another kill. It is TNC playing the way we wanted them to play, but it just feels like Fnatic is just always one step ahead, and TNC's rotations and plays aren't succeeding.
Yeah, coming out a little bit short every time. The gold lead is steadily growing. 4k now, 5k after the mid tower. They're not in a good spot right now. This Arc Warden is getting way too big. Sure, Terrorblade is getting farmed as well, but that's why you picked the Arc Warden to begin with. Answer that problem. Level 13 on the Arc Warden, closing in on 14.
That is scary stuff.
Tiny is just 12. And Storm also 14. Actually, we haven't really talked about Storm's farm. He's just as farmed as a Terrorblade. Big problem for TNC here.
And then meanwhile, the Tiny has had that Blink Dagger and been trying to make plays. Hasn't died. Armel's having a solid game, 2-0 and 3, but not enough for TNC in some ways, as Xuan does a nice job stealing the power rune, denying that from Armel, and gets back to safety.
Looking for me?
And it's an amazing rune for him too. Arcane Rune Storm, there's probably nothing scarier at this point in the game.
TNC continue to try to play aggressively around the same part of the map. It does still, you can still see TNC, you know, feeling confident, like they're the ones who should be playing forward on the map, even with the 5k gold deficit. They know this Arc Warden would prefer to keep farming, so they're always hunting for these kills, it feels like.
I just don't think TNC feels comfortable teamfighting ever. Like, this Phoenix is really just a non-factor. Like, in a lot of these teamfights, he doesn't even want to egg, because he knows what's going to happen. There's Mirana itemized into Dragonlance power threads just to deal with the Phoenix even more. We have one level in Shredder. How are you ever going to get an egg off? It's just not going to happen.
This is the build I've seen from these SEA Mirandas so often against Phoenix, and then they usually go into like a BKB next if they want it to.
Yep, and then they take the leap attack speed talent rather than the arrow cooldown. And they just kill that egg.
I guess this Phoenix's job is not going to be about the egg in these fights. It's just about the Sunray more than anything, which I guess they don't really have the best way to cancel.
That is true, and he's also itemizing into the Holy Locket just to amplify the heal a little bit. The pace of the game is not good for TNC. 6k now. They're just steadily getting out-farmed.
Out-farmed across, yeah. All three cores, really, as Storm works towards an Orchid, and that's going to be something that, yeah, like, these TNC, not just supports, but even the cores don't really have a good way of dealing with. TB working towards a BKB, that feels like the big time for TNC. When TB gets his BKB, they need to be taking objectives and trying to get themselves an Aegis.
Yeah, I mean, he feels pretty strong right now already, but Arc Warden already finishes Mjolnir. It's gonna be a tough fight no matter what, and Fnatic knows that, smoking up now. If they win a fight, that's straight into Roche.
Yep, they're looking for that wraparound. They've got some good vision behind this top lane as well. Who's the jump going to be on? TNC looking to back off a little bit. They don't want to get caught here. Storm could go for a zip, but it's TNC who smoked themselves up as well. Tim's immediately pops it, but he gets helped out by the pressing attack. Gets the snowball off. The Cole's going to miss. The Kiss is raining in from above, but a good place for the egg. There's nothing to actually hit it for now. The bubble's there to help protect the axe. Gabby looks for a new target. Death gets out of it. Caught by the egg stun. Falling back into Xuan, looking for the kill onto Bok. Will get him with an immediate buyback. Axe wants back in on this fight. Xuan on the axe. He's on the Storm. Is out of mana.
Raven's
As Armel getting
damage.
brought so low, and Jabs is going to go leaping and looking to finish off these kills. Armel, he gets back to safety. He needs to blink out, but the bleeps. Jabs, he actually snipes the Tiny. And now Storm is trying to get the hell out of there. Doesn't have any mana to play around with. The Arc Warden, he gets chased down. Gabby's just doing too much after getting the Sunder off. He gets the Storm as well. He's killed off both the carry and the mid. Gabby doesn't have a Sunder though. Now he's in trouble with the death buyback on the axe. It should be enough to help bring him down. The Cookie Sunder is there, and Gabby, no dunk to worry about. With the Storm buyback, he's going to be picked off, and Bok himself from the Legion Commander, he just fought back. This could be a dieback for him. Fnatic once again, similar to last game, using these buybacks so well. It's a triple kill for the Storm, and Death on the axe buying back to make sure they had the lockdown to win that one.
Yeah, good news for TNC though. Like, this Terrorblade has gotten a lot of gold, and finally they do manage to kill the Arc Warden, and Storm had to buy back. So next time he dies, he's going to be on the side lanes for quite a long time, which is giving them a little bit of a window of opportunity here. 700 gold to the BKB now for Terrorblade, and he's going to be feeling very strong after that.
Would you say, I mean, in some ways it sounds like you're saying TNC even almost won that fight? Like, it was a 5k gold difference before and after it.
Yeah, but they... I mean, sure, the Legion Commander bought back and died again. And Phoenix just died to Arc Warden. Well, he just ran into him randomly. That feels bad. Yeah, but TB got a lot of kills, a lot of experience, and Arc Warden finally got shut down. Like, if Arc Warden survives that game, his gold lead will grow to like 8k or so. That game, sorry, I mean that fight.
That fight, yeah. Well, next fight, Storm's going to have an Orchid, it looks like, as Xuan, even after the buyback, managed to get some key kills and set himself up for pretty scary timing. He's at level 18 now.
He's playing so aggressively too. He's just jumping into 5 heroes. He knows how tanky he is. With strength treads and the essence ring, he's sitting at like 2.3k health-ish. Plus magic wand. There's no way to bring him down that quickly. Question now is, would they feel comfortable taking on Roshan with that BKB on Terrorblade? It's a tough fight.
Perhaps another big timing for TNC coming up is going to be this Ag shot on the Legion Commander. That's going to give them a nice little reliable save that they can turn around on Fnatic.
Still quite far away, unfortunately. And Axe is itemizing into Crimson Guard. I like that a lot. Like, the only damage right now they have in this game is Terrorblade, and it's going to be mitigated by a lot once you have this Crimson Guard.
Look up, they see Death in this mid lane. Are they going to go jump for the jump on him or look for someone else? He's taking a while, he's not getting the spins. He couldn't get the blink off in time. As Tiny goes blinking in, they get the Sunray follow up with the duel. They want to get him, and meanwhile, Armel on the backlines looking for the Snapfire, throws him back in. Gabby has got the Metamorph out, he gets the 2 kills quickly. The egg perhaps being used a bit unnecessarily by the Phoenix there, thinking a bigger fight was brewing, and TNC looked to be headed towards the Roche pit.
Yeah, there was an Axe buyback. He's dead for 60. It was a little bit unfortunate, like Axe turned around just as the cookie came, otherwise he would have been over the ice shards, resulting in his death. Now that's a Roshan, that's the pace TNC is looking for. Abusing the fact that Raven doesn't really want to join fights yet. Very close to a Skadi though. Once that's online, he's more than ready to fight.
It feels like, yeah, TNC have, game plan-wise, have played this game perfectly. They've been behind pretty much for most of the game by a small bit of goal, but they know they have to keep playing aggressive. It's like a lot of teams, I feel like, in their position would have just sat back and tried to farm, but despite losing this early game, they are constantly looking for the next fight, looking for the next opening to try to take Roshan, and they finally get it.
Yeah. They are going to have some damage problems for a while, so I really want Gabby to double down on the damage after the Skadi, perhaps.
Perhaps that's where the MKB comes, because we mentioned against the bubble, it feels like you do eventually need that MKB.
Yeah, like if you initiate on an Axe, for example, and he just gets bubbled, he's not going to die. Unless you have that MKB. Well, I guess they could get like an Axe Scepter or something on Tusk and kick him out of it, but it's pretty gimmicky and not really reliable.
That's it. It sounds like you're asking for quite a bit there. They've got the toss, so maybe you can toss someone out, but and not maybe the most reliable. Here come Fnatic, though. They're smoked up, looking to invade this Radiant side of the map. By around this Skadi timing, every time they get a new item, like the Mjolnir first, this time the Skadi, they're making these plays. TNC playing around this T1 tower. Ooh, jabs his invis.
Korea saw them.
Shouted with the Radiant, yeah. And they had the sentry too, so.
Yeah. And they didn't kill the courier because they thought,
Armel?
we're invis here.
Oh, Tiny.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I guess he didn't get spotted.
It was so close. But he has the sentry ops there.
Yeah, he's playing around his ward. He's actually looking to blow up jabs, it looks like. Has he got the damage for this?
Ooh. I don't think it would have been enough either way. He's too tanky with the Dragonlance threats.
Exactly. That kind of looks like, oh, why did he take so long to Avalanche? What's he doing? But he probably wasn't getting that kill.
I mean, he needs the double hit, and then Avalanche toss, and then another hit and the tree throw to even have a chance of killing him.
But even that may open. It felt like more than anything, he was waiting for that power rune, because he was just camping there waiting for that 26-minute mark, and he gets himself an Arcane Rune for a potential team fight, which Arcane Rune, yeah, I mean, you mentioned Arcane Rune and Storm. I feel like Tiny's the same thing. Having that reduced cooldown on Avalanche Toss could be a game changer.
100%. This next big pickup here from the Storm Spirit is going to be the Lincoln Sphere. After that's up, they have literally nothing to stop him anymore. Legion Commander doesn't have the goal to invest into any sort of Lincoln's pop. So it's going to be very difficult once he gets that Lincoln Sphere. Because Terrorblade hates playing against both Storm and Arc Warden. Like, you kind of got to deal with both problems. Might be a little bit too much for him in the late game.
The Fnatic side, I like what they do there. They give up the tier 2 top tower and outposts. Yep, he will TP out, makes it out. Jabs gets back to base. But they had the Storm cutting the waves at top. So they basically block any chance of TNC's ability to continue pressuring this top side of the map once they lose their creep waves.
Yeah, it looked very calculated too. He was waiting there for like half a minute or so. The good news is the gold lead isn't growing, right? Been at 5k for a long time. Or I don't know if that's good news or not, because I do favor Fnatic in the late game quite a bit.
See if TNC have a way to play these late games any better. But these are definitely the two SEA teams who have, I guess, most late game experience and most veteran players. So if TNC have some better answers here in game number 2 compared to Fnatic, who got the better of them in game 1.
The clone running in from behind. Gabby has a lot of problems with this. Look at the damage he's taken. Oh, this feels bad.
Boy.
Yeah.
The Scotty slow as well.
Warden is such an obnoxious hero. Both these teams have always been sort of the gatekeeper of SEA, right? Gatekeepers, rather.
Yeah, at a point, you know, Black, you were the gatekeeper of Southeast Asia.
I know.
Ooh. Legion tries to find the storm. Look at
Let's
all
not
faces.
talk about that.
you guys were the kings of the SEA, you know, qualifiers, but
then we go internationally, and we're
kind
like, what
of ended there. Yeah. You know,
we literally would not
But,
lose a single game in the qualifiers. When we go international, like, huh? What? How do we play
TNC
Dota?
was the team that you guys would always beat, because TNC would do really well in international Dota, and you guys stopped them getting to a number of lands.
The SEA community was pretty mad at us. They're like, why are you always kicking out TNC? You're failing so hard in international.
It's like if you're gonna qualify, at least do well, you know.
I'm
But
trying
we've
my
seen a
best,
lot
I
of
promise.
SEA teams. You know, SEA teams have you know, made a much bigger name for themselves. TNC winning a major, you know, T1 at the recent major, getting top 3, doing really well. So it's definitely been a, you know, a successful year for SEA Dota.
100%. They're on the radar now. I mean, they have been for a while, but mostly for Chinese teams, who have been poaching them for, what, 2-3 years now?
Yeah, that's the thing. You go back to like Singapore Major in the finals. You know, it's like there was what 4 SEA players in that grand finals with IG and EG,
Yeah.
but nothing to say on PSG LGD. So SEA players being represented all over the world.
Yeah, so 8 said they're mostly going for Malaysian players because they naturally speak Chinese as well.
Yeah.
I would say the same
That's always
about
been
most
the big-
Singaporean players, though. Like, Price.
I mean, there's just less
Nuts.
Singaporean players, right?
Yeah, there's not a lot, unfortunately. Like, you can probably count them on one hand. Who's playing right now? Ice and Def? Is that it?
Pelosin is on one of the. Was
Oh,
on one of the
Polosan?
teams, right?
He's also Singaporean, that's true. And I guess Ponlo is also playing, right?
Hold on.
Okay,
He's
so
not
we have
playing in these
4.
qualifiers, but yeah, he's playing. Yeah, there you go.
Not bad.
Those are the ones I know, at least. You know, for a while there were players like Nuts and stuff as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, a lot of people are just kind of disappeared without ever saying anything. Maybe we'll see them again one day. The mystery comeback.
I mean, when's your comeback happening, Black?
You don't know what's happening behind the scenes.
You're pulling some strings.
All the strings are pulling me. I'm not sure yet.
Here we go. TNC looking to pull on Fnatic strings as they go for an initiation here, but a quick jump out from
Nice
DJ.
cookie.
And yeah, Cookie's over the shards. Great reactions from him. Gets the blink and then the Cookie. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Clone's just causing problems here.
Well, we
Gets
didn't
the
ever
tower
speak
down.
about it, by the way, but there's also Arc Warden against Phoenix with the bubble.
I honestly, we didn't speak about it. I also just didn't notice because I just, in my head, I was like, okay, this Phoenix is already counted. So I wasn't even looking for any other counts.
He's just dead. Leave him alone, guys.
I think he's better off just not even casting egg
Yeah.
team fights until it's like, you know, only if there's like one hero on it.
Until he's level 18 with the Agon and Scepter. Level 25, actually.
Oh, arrow? Okay, gets perched off immediately.
And the clone,
They
though.
want this clone.
I mean,
It does a
this
bit
just
of damage.
feels so
but
bad. You need 4 heroes to kill a clone that is off cooldown in 5 seconds.
The gold Black, it's still only a 5k gold difference.
That is true. I mean, at least Terrorblade and Arc Warden are neck and neck. You gotta think, though, that Storm Spirit just scales way better than the Tiny Wood.
Yeah. This gold difference has been the same since the 18-minute mark, so TNC have been, yeah, like you say, mostly keeping up, but will the scaling be there? go for the full Hurricane Pike on Gabby. So no blink yet, going for positioning from the Pike,
And
as well
before
as an MKB.
MKB also, yeah. Like if he doesn't go for the full Pike, he would have had MKB already for the next Roshan, which will respawn in 10 seconds, which could be a very, very big deal.
Yeah, a bit of a unexpected pickup for sure. And it was something, at least initially, it looked like he had the blink queued up and changed his mind.
Yeah. So what do they have to do with Arc Warden? It's really only the Tiny that can get on top of him. Maybe the Tusk,
Yeah.
but it's very risky
Well,
now.
everybody in. Go for the pub strat. 5-man snowball on top.
Into X call, woo! Death!
Here we go. Moonlight Shadow, Gabby. He's perhaps in a dangerous position, but he feels like he's got the back. I mean, he has got the backup. He's got a Legion command behind him. So, and Fnatic know they can't go on him. And DJ, does his blink get cancelled here? Avalanche tosses there, can't cook you on out. Death goes for the blink call, but he blinks into an Avalanche. They get the dual kill as well. Instant buyback, and TNC find the snowball to keep their TB alive after he gets arrowed. I think he was more than okay with the health he's got. They back off to the high ground. They've committed the Metamorphosis for this one.
They're going to the pit.
They're going for... Roche is already back up. I feel like they just killed Roche. Nothing happened since they last killed Roche, Black. What the hell, man?
There's no way they're getting this for free, right? Like, you know they're going
We'll
for
find
Roche
out.
with this meta. Like, you need to do
Armel's,
something about
he's
it.
shadow bladed. He's going to pop this, or at least scout them out. The arrow comes flying in as well. Legion walks into it. Uh-oh. Armel's still looking for the backlines here. They throw the egg out. Can they protect this one? Raven in there with... Oh, God, that egg just melted in no time at all, but they're going to take casualties. Axe goes down. Meanwhile, Bok on the Legion command after taking the arrow dies as well. Raven, his clone, going to die first. They want the Mirana, who gets the leap away. It stays alive for now. This TB Metamorph is wearing off, so I think TNC has to be a little bit careful. They're still trying to finish off Roche. They feel like they've got enough time before Fnatic gets back. This is so risky, and they're going to realize they can't do this against the Storm. Storm falls in. Luckily, TNC had already gotten out for the Tiny. He gets caught. The pressing attack going to bail him out. They get the catch with the Warrior's Punch. Is the damage there? The call from Death. Axe saving the day. He wants Armel, but he gets a Shadow Blade off before a dunk can come in, and Death may pay the price for saving his Storm. Storm out of mana, TP's back to base, but this may have secured TNC Roshan. Luckily, Fnatic, they pull Roche out of the pit. And Raven with his clone here.
Be careful, Gabby.
Yeah, Gabby
Don't kill
helped out
him.
by the Presti attack. I'm not sure they can do this. The Storm's back and is more or less full mana with the clarity.
Like, you
At this
need
rate,
a
Meta's going to
Satanic.
be back up.
Clone up
He
and
needs
5 again.
a lot of things, though. He needs a Satanic, he needs an MKB,
He does, yeah.
he needs an Aegis.
Oh, this Roche
Do
should
they-
be... Arrow?
Arrow's going to scout it. Catches an illusion, but this could set things up for the Storm. Need it perhaps.
Yeah, it's a lot of inventory
Not
space
like-
right now.
Oh, they waited a second to blink it. Oh, it's Raven's clone that goes in. Meanwhile, jabs on the backline. He steals it. Good news, I guess, for TNC is that the
And
Storm
DJ.
doesn't get it. And yeah, DJ's dead once. They should be able to get him a second time. They lost the Tusk in the process, but he instantly gets stalled on respawn. And Gabby with the BKB, TB. Nice steal from DJ, but I think the Storm really wanted it, and Storm may be thinking he could have had it.
Yeah. At least he took Shard. So it's a little win for them.
True.
And it means Terrorblade doesn't have the Aegis. A lot of buyback still expended from the TNC side. So probably still another small victory for Fnatic here.
One of the cool things I feel like TNC intentionally do that, when they get scouted by the arrow, they stop hitting Roche for like a couple seconds, so Storm mistimes the jump to steal
Yeah.
Roche. Because if it's like you can see how fast it's dying, so they stop hitting it for 2 seconds, then keep hitting it, so Storm jumps when it's still at like 5% health.
Yeah, but then they didn't really do anything about it. I mean, Mirana was there, Storm was there, and they both hit Roshan for a good 2 seconds.
The high ground we go. TNC feeling like they can
Ooh, it's
poke
a
at
lot
these
of damage.
buildings.
And MKB's up.
Yeah. The bubbles, though. We've seen this story before. He doesn't want to send his hero into this bubble. He's like, yeah, I'm good. Zip is there, but there is a siege wagon. And with the press the attack magic immunity, Gabby still holding strong. I feel like it's going to be so slow to take this rack zone with the respawns. Yeah, TNC have to back off. The bubble is just...
I hate the
They
sound
don't
of the
have an
bubble.
answer to it.
Every time you hear it, you just know, no, we ain't pushing this Rex. Spell Prism. Who's gonna get that? I feel like as though Terrorblade would love that one, to be honest, for the meta cooldown. It's gonna be the Tiny taking it.
We'll see what other items they can find. Leveler,
Okay.
Juicy.
Well, you can't really level the base though. If
Oh.
Arc Warden's there.
Uh-oh. Imps. It's caught in the mid lane.
Punk. That's
Well,
actually going
I
into the
don't-
Halberd. Yeah.
Oh.
Little bit.
Okay.
I mean, it's a decent investment, but you already have the evasion pierce on the Terrorblade. So maybe a BKB or something is better?
I was gonna ask is what item does make a difference for him.
It feels like every fight
DJ
he's
down
getting
bottom.
stunned by something randomly or sundered.
TNC have to address this bottom lane. They're trying to trade up top, at least by going for the rain track, but they are going to TP back to come defend. But this tier 3 tower should already be dead. They glyph it, but the high ground ward, they should reveal that they have a high ground ward here. Raven just trying to finish it off. The uphill misses, as well as the, I think, maybe some backdoor protection there kicking in.
Getting flashbacks from yesterday. That's exactly what happened yesterday all the time. TB top, Arc Warden bottom, both hitting Rex. Both TPing back.
TB did get the rain tracks, but that doesn't really change much at all, to be honest. Gives them some gold, that's about it.
At least the creeps will be pushing in a little bit faster. But they have this like mini edge. Not really
If there's
though.
no heroes up top, it'll slightly push Dire's way.
Yeah. Which, you know,
What's the
maybe
play
both
here?
teams are waiting for Roshan. Helping a little bit.
Yep.
Almost Satanic now in Terrorblade. And then he is Arc Warden ready. But are you Storm ready?
Trying to see if there's any other big items coming out. Looks like both teams got a penta-edged sword. Yeah, flicker on the Radiant. Yeah, that's always a big one. Looks like TB is going to be taking that. Always nice because you can go bootsless with the flicker. It feels like
That's
seems
the edge
like
sword on the tusk. Just so you can get the Walrus punch from a higher distance.
Nice. Some bonus damage too.
Yeah.
So
Gabby is feeling mighty strong right now. But I feel like he's really not. If he gets pulled by the storm and arrowed, he's just dead. You do have a snowball save, of course, but a little bit risky regardless. Storm now with the blue hole, as you guys called it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Okay.
Top tower gone. And Arc Warden is closing in on this 25 talent that is really, really strong.
Top tower.
Everybody's favorite.
Double.
Yeah.
Yeah. Higher duration, then the cooldown. Why not?
Balance in all things.
Yep.
So,
Did you know that he has a 40 attack speed talent on 15 as well? Arc Warden.
I do
It's a
now.
lot of attack speed.
Armel gets the Avatos on the Storm, but he's got that.
So tanky. 3k health.
They don't have the luck. They need the triple toss. That's a kill with triple toss, though. So that's something at least
100%.
TNC maybe have to look forward to. A level 25 timing can punish Storm, or even someone like an Arc Warden.
And Discount Phoenix now also. I feel like just don't egg. Like, at all. Like, you're more survivable without the egg. Fuck. Like, do they have any way of piercing these Lincolns? No one has anything. Nothing. They have a Hurricane Pike and a Thunder, that's it.
Good news when you can maybe stop this Gabby Sunder in some of these team fights. He's now picked himself up a Swift Link.
Not Satanic.
He is essentially 6-slotted at this point.
Yeah. You'll have to sell something for Satanic eventually, though. Because otherwise you really just can't siege.
Flicker
Yay.
now on the Dire. Yeah, DJ in some trouble here. Gets found. Link gets cancelled, and there's going to be an avalanche to find him. TNC, it feels like playing this game really well.
They are. It's kind of crazy to think that they're on the back foot since the start. The way they've played.
I mean, that's the thing. If anything, I feel like I would disagree. I haven't gotten the impression watching this game at any point that they've been on the back foot. Other than the gold difference, they've had a free farming Arc Warden that they haven't really pressured, but they're always the one making the aggressive moves.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I guess what I meant is that I thought they would be able to pressure the Arc Warden a little bit more.
Yeah, they're on the back foot in terms of, there is a sense where Fnatic at least have like a, maybe 55, 60% chance of winning this game if you had the win probability.
Yeah, I mean, this game is still anyone's game, just like yesterday. This is exactly how it started. Oh no. Well,
Right. None of us thought this game would go less than 60 minutes, I don't think. We'll see if these
luckily I
teams can prove
have
us wrong.
my shift ends in 17 minutes. No problem.
I'm just like my therapist. The hour's over. See you later.
Yeah. But I still have nope, bye.
Well,
He's going satanic now. And he's gonna be dropping what?
Pike or...
Here's the St. Joshua, but they're playing against an Axe. Honestly, just drop that BKB. Who needs that?
Yeah, BKB good this game, but maybe maybe this tank's better. Oh. Constant pressure on this bottom lane. Arc Warden will finally get the opening to take out that tower, and meanwhile the rest of Fnatic are smoked up, making a move down this middle lane. Roche respawn is in the next 3 minutes, so we'll find that out soon. Fnatic perhaps with that in mind. They're smoking up, but there's a dire ward. They see everything. They finally scouted on the TNC side, but they may just get jumped here if they're not careful. Dire Scan is trying to figure out what's going on. Bok would be a dream target. They want to take out this Legion commander. He's the one who has all the save, but TNC themselves smoke up after dewarding. But Gabby reveals himself perhaps by planting an illusion. Yeah, Fnatic ping that. They know exactly where Gabby was. That illusion just appeared out of thin air. So they realize that TNC were smoked up themselves, but top lane, there's creeps. It's the super range creeps, Black. They're pressuring the melee racks. It'll force Raven back, but he's got cooldown reduction and Tempest doubles, so...
Okay, so the big problem yesterday of why Trust lost with the Arc Warden, I feel like, is the main Arc Warden was just AFK in Fountain for literally 60 minutes. Like, he did not move out of base. I think if you play Arc Warden at this stage, you need to be comfortable enough to position yourself with both Arc Wardens, not just your clone. Because otherwise you're only playing 50% of the hero.
You're literally twice as strong with both, so...
Yeah. And yesterday we've just never seen it. There was no fight with 2 Arc Wardens ever. Just the clone, repeatedly. But I've seen so many situations where with the clone, he would have gotten maybe a Rex, maybe a hero kill more, which would have helped him close out the game.
Well, right now it's a very tactical chess-like game. Storm was zipping through bottom, clearing the creeps, so constantly TNC have to go back and address this bottom lane, which they're using Gabby's illusions to do a pretty good job of. He may be considering, like, oh, I guess he can't. He doesn't have room for the boot to travel, so he just wants to push out with the illusions as Roche respawning in 1 minute. Both sides going to be constantly looking to scout that one out, and Fnatic. And I'm going to go for a Moonlight Shadow play here. But Armel is camped under a ward. Should be able to see this one.
DB's the ping.
Armel, he goes in aggressive. Has the BKB, but gets cold before he can perhaps pop it. The pressing attack is there to bail him out a little bit. With Box, BKB Jewel, he goes in. He wants the axe here. Armel trying to turn and fight this one. Has a BKB of his own. There's the egg. Plays very defensively with the Sunray. And with that one on Raven's clone, I believe they're going to have to bring that one down. And Raven doesn't have that Tempest double to fight for a couple more seconds. But he's got it back up now with that low cooldown and long duration. So if either team's able to go back in, TNC with that vision advantage, that ward on the high ground. 2 wards around this top side of the map, causing all kinds of problems. Gonna jump in. DJ, he just melts. Tuan with the blue hole, catches out 2, pulls him in. TP's dead, doesn't get a chance to thunder. Tiny dies as well. Great jump from Fnatic. They're making this work when Boomy gets sunk through the A on Disc and Storm, zipping in, bowling, looking for more as Tims can only blink himself out of there. And now TNC have a tough decision to make. Do they buy back to potentially contest Roche, or do they just let this one go and try and hold on to these buybacks?
Roche is in 5. And that's the 3rd one, I believe. So there is going to be a refresher shot, which is massive for both the Storm and the Axe.
Okay.
And like a double call or a double blue hole. Could you just win your team fight straight out?
They still have enough time on these respawns. They can take Roche and potentially also go for some kind of a high ground play to force these buybacks.
Yep, and there's a DD bottom. If the Storm picks that up, it's going to be massive for him. He'll be doing so much damage. Double, in fact.
What went so well for Fnatic in that fight?
I mean, they just reinitiated without BKBs on the heroes, right? Like, Tiny didn't have it, Aeroblade didn't have it, and Fnatic made perfect use of that. They jumped the support. Sure, DJ died, but you have 0 defensive tools. Aeroblade just got blown up from, what, like 2k health? He wasn't even full health when he went in.
No, yeah, Axe got, I think it was a call on TB and Tiny. If they don't have the Legion there for the save, it feels like, yeah, things can just go so wrong quickly for them.
Yeah, this bot Rex. This new Swift Blink on Arc Warden also is so incredibly powerful. Like, it just gives him so much attack speed and damage that usually you would lack mobility as well.
Radiant's courier
Perhaps
has been
the
killed.
good news
Oh,
for
Gabby's
TNC is they don't have
refresher!
the facilities buyback.
Maybe lost refresh on the courier.
I don't know if Fnatic would have seen that it was a refresher on the courier, but they know something was perhaps on it.
And he's still not going satanic. I really don't think you can play this matchup without one. Now he has it queued up again, but it's the 4th time he did. Bought like 3 other items already.
And that's why, I mean, that's why Arc Warden's so popular against the TB. It feels like you need too many items, and there's too many tools the Arc Warden has against the TB to make this matchup so tricky at times.
Yeah. I'm also wondering if Arc Warden is gonna drop the Hurricane Pike for like an MKB or just more damage in general, like a Nullifier. But it feels like he doesn't really need the Pike anymore. He already has mobility with a Swift Blink. More damage would be more optimal, probably. Same with Terrorblade. Like, he doesn't really need 2 mobility tools, right?
Buy something, sitting on 12k gold, whether it's an Ags, it doesn't even have the shard.
Moon Shard, yeah.
Moon Shard, yep. Moon Shard, Ag Scepter, you got money. But at this
You
point,
could also buy a Moon Shard for your Storm. Could be a good investment.
Probably thinking a little bit about what is the item going to be. Doesn't want to just jump into something. Maybe there's a better option for him.
19k lead, 12k sitting on Arc Warden, so basically not really that big of a lead at all.
It's true.
But they threw in the Arc Warden clone.
Okay. Storm follows it up, looking for a zip zap. As Raven will lose his clone, and Storm just going to ball himself out of there.
Armel used BKB, but he was completely safe.
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe afraid that there was going to be a follow-up, like the Electric Vortex in the Arrow or something. I mean, they do have Box Legion. His job is going to be always to save that press the attack to help his team out.
This combo is very, very strong, actually, to gobble up into the Arc Warden clone. And what is the cooldown? 40 seconds? The clone is 35 seconds, so it's almost identical.
Constant pressure on the base here coming from Fnatic. Aegis still up for a minute and a half. Not that it's like, I mean, it's not like the item that allows them to push high ground, because it is just an axe, but... If Fnatic make another play, it seems for now they're happy just to build up on their lead and poke at these buildings using the Arc Warden clones.
Yeah. Arc Warden clone flying in again.
Yep. Gonna force the Phoenix to just dive away. Do kill it.
But mind you, this is exactly how yesterday went. Like, there was like a 30k gold lead for the Arc Warden team. And then suddenly Terrorblade team just came back. And then they had a massive lead. Went back and forth, kind of. But you're feeding a lot of gold away also if you're not getting these towers.
Yeah. Look up from Fnatic. And they find a good jump here.
MKB on Mirana. He's so rich.
He sees the direction this game is going and it's like, yep, I'm going to be another core for us. Gabby and Armel. Storm zips in, pulls the Tiny. Tim is there looking for a snowball to help him out, but the Tiny gets the BKB off. The right click's coming from the Arc Warden on the low ground. They're going to get the Jewel out. Axe may go down here, but he's got the Aegis just for this very purpose. So just an Aegis. Can they kill him a second time? Armel has an Avalanche perhaps waiting for him as he respawns. The Sunray there doing good damage as well with the Egg. Can they kill the Supernova? I don't think so. It's positioned well on the high ground. Death's going to get pulled back in. He goes down. The Egg popped. It stuns everyone. They overcommitted trying to get the Egg, but a great Vortex onto 3. Oh, Fnatic. They catch everyone, but they're dying in the process. They've overcommitted here. Gabby's TP doing too much damage. Schwan, he tries to TP out, but he gets caught. Tim's with the Blink Walrus Punch. He stops the TP out. Raven's going for the buildings, but he can't do much more. 5x coming in from TNC. They've stopped Chuan's TP. They know this Storm can't TP out, but he's got a lot of mana as Bok does end up going down. Gabby doesn't want to chase too far without the Sunder. Has the Swift Blink, but Storm's still alive even though his TP got cancelled. What a team fight coming out of TNC.
Yeah, very good high ground defense. Was it a buyback expended on the... No. It was way earlier where Legion bought back. But yeah, good hold.
Support spot back.
And it was costly, but this is sort of what they want. Like, they need this next item on this Terrorblade. And then he's gonna be the big raid boss.
Raven just trying to do Arc Warden things.
Yeah.
He'll
just hit buildings. Actually, yesterday Arc Warden got like one of the best items to do this kind of thing. He got a Stygian Desolator, minute 61. Buildings died so fast.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Raven just chilling on this cliff. He's found a little like treehouse for himself, I would say. You know, he's just gonna be chilling, making his clones up here near the enemy base, feeling
Feeding away
protected by all the
gold.
wards. Feeding away gold, exactly.
I feel like we kind of need a separate gold counter whenever there's an Arc Ward in the
Ooh.
game.
Phoenix Boomy realized where he is. He had lost his hand, so now Schwan on the storm.
He has no
Grabs the
buyback.
Phoenix, this is a dieback. He still died. Wow, Fnatic love what they're seeing. I like the team tips. We saw this earlier when they were tipping Schwan as well.
Yeah, gotta get the team morale up. He has a Bloodstone and a Kaya Sage. Launch. Sage.
He has all the mana in the world, and he is incredibly tanky.
Yeah. This doesn't actually stack, does it? Bloodstone and...
I don't believe so. Not sure.
Wait. 100% mana regen amplification, level 50. I think it was changed that it doesn't stack anymore. Maybe it does, again. Who knows? It's Dota.
No, I'm a Dota pleb. I never get this far in Black Snow. Poor player here.
I think
We
most
don't get
people
to know
never get
those
this
things.
farmed. Like 50k net
That's
worth
true.
is pretty ridiculous. Or 30k on Storm even. Almost never happens.
Even with the Phoenix pickup, it doesn't lead to a whole lot. It does force TNC to play very defensively, sheltered in their base, and they may keep having their buildings get poked at by this Arc Warden.
Couple up.
Another toss in. Carmel was there ready for it, though. And he's trying to keep it alive. The Storm zipping. Look at the back. Arrow! It catches Bok on the Legion. Okay, no, we're fine. There's no follow-up.
Fake hype, fake hype.
Bok has to be
I like
careful, though. Yeah, fake hype.
it.
I'll throw in a WoW next time, don't worry.
Wow!
When I see a 5-second arrow hit at 55 minutes, I'm thinking, oh shit, this could be bad. Abby forced. They keep getting forced to blink on this clone. Blinking with a 2-man vortex. The follow-up is there. Death with the call, but the snowball save. Nice plays by the Tusk. Abby holding his own here. Now they get the jewel. It's out onto Jabs. Jabs in trouble. He's just going to die here. They get the Mirana. And Phoenix is respawned now. He's got the egg out in the middle of things, and nobody's hitting it. TNC lose their tiny, though.
Oh no! Get me out, gods.
Yeah,
Happening. 2 days in a row. What did I do?
This is like, I mean, you had the, this is every, I mean, you have 100 minutes, but it's like, by the way, we started, this is the third best of 3 of today. We're in game 2. We started the SEA broadcast like 12 hours ago.
Yeah, I know.
And we're only halfway through our third best of 3.
I woke up at like 9 AM my time. I was expecting, you know, second game of the second series. What? Third game of the first series? I went to the gym,
And you
I
have
went
to,
to the
'cause-
store. I went...
If they're 2-0 stomps, it's like, oh shit, suddenly you're starting early and you're like, all right, gotta go, gotta be ready. But no, it was, I think
It was
8 hours
very
for 2
calm.
best of 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has been wild, these Southeast Asian qualifiers. I mean,
Makes me
honestly,
wonder
I'm
then.
absolutely loving it though. Like it's been a nice, refreshing look, like seeing the discipline from these SEA teams, even if at times it is, you know, incredibly cautious.
Will this then be the longest qualifier finals we've ever had in the history of Dota? Potentially.
What's the best of 5 just be like a 3-0 stomp with 20-minute games? Like we've had no 20-minute games, and suddenly it's gonna be like, oh, by the way, here you go.
Yeah. I think the last one we had was like on day 2 or day 1. Actually, I think it was day 1 with that Broodmother game. That was the last stomp we had, right?
I think you're, yeah, the last series of the day, yeah.
Yeah.
With the, I think it was Neon versus Trust, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the earlier series, I think, on day 2 yesterday were, we had 2-0s at least, but the last 2 series yesterday were 6 games long.
Yeah. Slowly but surely, range
It's
records are
TI.
falling.
$40 million, Black.
Yeah, I know. I know.
You know, Fnatic and, you know, Raven's teammates are more than happy to sit through another 100-minute game with an Arc Warden on their team if it means getting a TI.
Do you think every time Raven calls for Arc Warden, the entire team is just starting to sweat? They're like, oh no, not this again.
I think they're pausing to go to the bathroom. to make sure they can last the whole game. But here we go, TNC, they've smoked up. They're on the low ground. Death is going to kind of scout them out here. He blinks through and over, but Armel's there with an avid toss. Not sure where he's heading. He's got multiple toss charges. The triple toss allows a duel as well, and Death goes down. I'm not sure where he was headed with that blink. He's forced to buy back now. Raven could be next with the clone. Looks like Gabby's just going to burst it down. Just the clone, though. As DJ and Jabs are in full retreat mode, they're going to be careful here. Ace is on. DJ does have the A on disc, but could be in some trouble. There's a detection. Doesn't look like they have it. Boomy elsewhere, and the Phoenix goes down. That's once again the Storm making these plays happen. He uses his entire mana pool to get in and out, and he gets himself an Arcane Rune.
And Roshan is up, with all 5 heroes of Fnatic being alive. Well, it looks like another freebie, and this one has everything.
We're kind of at that point, I feel like, you know, often in 6-minute games, the Aegis just feels less impactful because you don't have a hero with slots for it. Like, you're giving it to an Axe, which may be better than this plate mail, but it's not like a massive power spike.
Yeah, I realized every time any Fnatic hero dies, anywhere, they instantly buy back. I wonder if that's like something the team spoke about or not, because it's really instant every time.
Yep. Armel making some way pushing. Something TNC haven't done so much is, yeah, that kind of split push, but they're going to look to jump in. Tims goes looking. They want this Mirana, who does get jeweled up, even with the BKB, gets chased and caught off, and the backline is going to be the Tiny. The tosses, they have the Storm, double toss, triple toss, quadruple toss. It's just toss after toss. With the Spell Prism, they bring him down. No instant buybacks this time. They realize they have messed up and do not want to just throw these buybacks. They're going to give TNC some space to push out lanes. Gabby, ooh, there's the Satanic you mentioned. He needs it.
100%. And, I mean, this is pretty much the final inventory you'll see. Maybe, I think you could still replace the Pike with like a Daedalus. First he's going to buy Moonshot.
I'm pretty sure that was 4 tosses from Armel. He timed them, spaced them so well that one charge came back.
What's the cooldown of it? Like, you can't even see the cooldown anymore because it got charges now.
Yeah.
Did it lose anything? No.
When he uses one, you can see how quickly it comes up. Like, it was like 6 or 7 seconds, it feels like.
Yeah, it's definitely very low. I think it's 9 seconds, and with the Spell Prism probably also to, what, like 7? 6,
With that
something?
said, maybe I just don't know how to count because I am a college dropout after all, so you know.
It's fine.
Just be
It was still a lot of tosses, and Storm died. That's all that matters.
Yep. Storm does it buyback. TNC looking to force it. They've got to know that these heroes are buyback, it feels like, but either way, they want to make a play here. The Kiss is coming out just to try and clear these creeps. Gabby getting helped out by the press the attack. Onto the high ground we go. There's a toss back onto the clone. Just stopping some of those bubbles. In the front lines, has got the Aghanim, has got the Demon Zeal.
I really don't like that he's just sitting in base with the real Arc Warden again. Like, it just happens every time I see an Arc Warden. Using
afraid to
like,
die.
half the hero. I know he doesn't want to die.
The rack here. And Storm doesn't want to buy back as well, so they may give up a second lane if they don't buy back on this Storm. The triple arrow looking to come out, but Gabby is still forced to be reckoned with on the front lines here. They didn't manage to kill the Tiny. Armor got the BKB up. He Shadow Blades away, and now the egg stuns up as well. Catches Raven on the Arc Warden. The Storm goes zipping in, catches 3 with the Vortex. He wants to zip, looking for more. The TB dies. He got isolated. The Storm catching the backlines meant TB was alone. They go for the gobble up play onto the Axe. The TP out from Tims. The call is there though. Tims gets picked off as well. Fnatic, they bounce back. Did cost them a Storm buyback though.
Yeah, there was the last second really that he had to buy back. It was definitely not what he wanted to do.
This series, this has a feeling like we could be headed to a game 3, Black. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I know. I'm very happy.
These teams, I mean, the history they've had, Fnatic and TNC, the top dogs of Southeast Asian Dota, and I mean, it's not just these 2 teams, it's all these SEA teams in the top 6 who have put on a show for everybody tuning in.
They smoke up right away. They want to deliver the killing blow here, potentially. But if they lose the Storm, they might just lose this game, because Axe also doesn't have one.
Link up with the clone once again. Raven just trying to go for the buildings. Pushes himself into the bubble, getting it low. Yeah, without the TB, they do struggle to
Well, it's
deal
up in
with
5
those
seconds again.
clones.
This Rex is gone.
I mean, I think TNC have made a decision to let it go, though.
Oh, he threw the creep next to the Rex, so the backdoor protection is not online.
Raven. No back
Toss
protection
again.
for now, but they'll just
Toss
triple
again.
toss it. You can see the cooldown now. When you have got the tiny, you can see how fast those toss charges come back up.
Regeneration.
It looks like it's about 8 to 9 seconds.
I remember yesterday there were so many pauses too. Give me some PTSD.
Well, by the way, we're at 62 minutes. We haven't even talked about it. Black, tier 5 items. What's going on? We got a ballista?
Where are they? Do we have any yet?
Only Fnatic. TNC have none, so there is a
Oh, they have a ballista. Oh my god, on Arc Warden, let's go.
They have a Book of Shadows, which is not picked up.
That one is really good
and
though,
then-
potentially. You could literally just put it on the Terror Blade and he's just useless for 3 seconds.
And the Force Boots, which Mirana is currently carrying.
They
But-
are so shit.
You think so? I feel like some carries, like TB would love some Force Boots because...
Yeah, but he would also love anything that gives damage.
True.
Or an
I feel
Ex
like these
Machina.
carries... There was a game where Lifesteal of Force Boots won them the game, okay? Having the Dispel as well as giving you an extra slot, not needing to
Sure.
have boots can be really nice.
But how about just Ex Machina? You get 2 BKBs, 2 Swift Blinks, 2 Satanics on a 25-second cooldown. That sounds good.
That does sound good. Not
25
to mention you
armor
get
as
25 armor. The fact that item gives 25 armor, I mean, that actually won a
2.5
game last
plate mails.
yesterday, yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
What else is there actually? Let's see. Giant's Ring. Not impressed. Ballista. But Terror Blade is still S tier. Probably the best item in the game for him. Fallen Sky. I think it's also S tier, honestly. It's one of the best items in the game. Stygian Desolator. Like the damage number seems a bit underwhelming. What do you think? 60.
On Deso, yeah.
Like 10 armor is good, but 60 damage is kind of like, eh. Not that much. If it was
Yeah, I don't think
600 though.
that's gonna like change TV's game. Yeah, especially when it's tier 5. You know, it's like, go on, give it like 100 damage maybe.
Yeah. Or Mirror Shield, of course, we didn't talk about that. Absolutely amazing.
Against, yeah, I mean, for Dire perhaps against like stuff like the Jewel, which is causing problems. That I mean, maybe the Storm can replace his Lincolns even.
Yeah. They don't have any hexes or anything like that, do they? They don't.
No. Phoenix, by the way, he's. We were saying maybe he shouldn't egg in these fights, but it feels like he's actually. Boomy's playing these team fights so well. I've seen egg go off. The fight they won at the top racks was because they overcommitted on his egg and they couldn't kill it.
Yeah.
But even the other fights, he's just putting his egg in a really safe place and just using the Sunray.
I mean, I like it a lot too. Like, I actually thought he was just gonna feed, but he only died 6 times this game.
Looking for me?
And it feels like he's got one of the hardest jobs. So definitely really impressive play coming out from his Phoenix.
Yeah, and now TNC, they gotta get out of the base. They need tier 6 items.
I think they'll get a chance to now. The Storm has no buyback. If anything, it's Fnatic who have to play safe. This tiny triple toss has changed the way this game looks because suddenly TNC do have the lockdown to find these kills.
Stygian Desolator. They have a Seer Stone on Dire. Is that good on anyone? No. Terrible.
The scan aspect maybe, like, yeah, he replaces his telescope because DJ. I mean, the telescope is not bad. You get the low cooldown on the scan as well as the cast and attack range, but
Yeah.
350 cast range on a Snapfire, that almost doubles your cookie cast range though.
It does. I mean, it's not terrible, but you're not like a Zeus or something.
Also, the gobble up cast range. That actually doesn't sound all too bad. Right?
Sure. I mean, if you can save some with it, it would be really good. But most of the time, he's just throwing clones in, and then the fight starts after. Who's
He
getting
may
the
change his
Stygian?
approach to these fights.
Or Tiny is keeping the Stygian. I see a stone as well for the Radiant. It could be really good. Imagine the dual range.
It looks like, yeah, Legion's getting it. I mean, as well as the press the attack range, which is an AoE press the attack.
Yeah. What does it give again? Does it give mana regen? It does, right? 10 mana regen. Okay.
Yeah, what are we looking at?
And like triples his mana regen pretty much. From 10 to
What do
15.
you make of the Book of Shadows? I was talking a bit with Ponlo about this one. This seems like just always a bizarre item that.
I feel like
a lot
it's
of people
really good, but it's difficult to use. Like, it can mess your own team over, but it can also win your team fight. Like, you can save a teammate with it, you can disable an enemy with it. There's a lot of things you can do, potentially, with it. It's just very hard to use. And you rarely ever get a chance to practice it. 2060. Doesn't really happen a whole lot. Who has it right now? Storm. Because they don't have any ground target damage. That means whoever you book of shadows from your own team, they won't die.
Allies disappear.
Not to mention, 400 night vision could be helpful. It's, you know, you never know
the
when that
book
could
also
actually be
gives it, yeah.
situationally really good.
What's the attack range
Raven's
of the
still
Arc
trying to
Warden
get
now?
this lead around.
975. Because everyone is a sniper nowadays.
Yeah, I'm sure, yeah, Sniper sees all these neutral items being added and just like, come on, that used to be my thing.
Yeah.
Good deal.
But a sniper with Ballista, on the other hand, becomes an even better sniper.
Maybe at some point this diminishing returns, but here we go, TNC smoke up. Just the Raven clone.
They gotta kill that
They're gonna
one.
ignore it, they're gonna bypass this. Smoke does not pop on the clone.
Yeah.
But a Shadow
Why
Blade now
not?
as
They
well.
should buff that.
No. Black, shut your trap. We are not buffing Arc Warden. Are you watching the same game as me? Do we want an Arc Warden buff? Do you want to see more? I mean, this is crazy Dota, but I don't think we need Arc Warden every game. Here we go, jump in, they get the vision, they look for the arrows, they're not going to connect immediately. Armo gets helped out by the pressy attack. TP in now coming from the boots to travel too. I think Terrorblade was looking
scanning.
for that. Yep, they get the scan that allows the blink call. They catch Armel's tiny. Is the pressy attack there? Block BKBs to help Armel out. The kiss is raining in from above. Boomy's
Devil's
Aeon
gonna
is protecting him. And with the Sunray, they lose the axe. That Sunray just doing too much. Armel gets away with the Shadow Blade. They're going to lose the clone now as well. And TNC have bested Fnatic for now in this team fight.
X no buyback for 10 seconds. Wow.
They timed that. They knew.
And they wouldn't have
you can
base if
see
we didn't
the
have it.
Seer Stone there, you know, it gave them some vision to go for when you want to breach a high
To
ground.
bait
Like,
themselves.
if you have a Seer, yeah, it's like if you have a Seer Stone, you definitely want somebody to carry it for that vision aspect. Like you give it to a support.
Yeah, you could also siege high ground with it. Good. I like it. And we have a fallen sky on the tiny now.
Happy just
We need a Terrorblade
Realizing
item. We need a Ballista.
have they
Like,
got
you
any
can't have one
items left?
Ballista
Oh,
and
they've
not on
got
the other
one
team.
left.
It's just unfair.
Yeah.
You know, yesterday Terrorblade had a Ballista and Arc Warden didn't.
So maybe the
And Arc Warden
Ballista
just
is the
couldn't
winning
fight
ingredient.
anymore. Yeah. It's imagine TB with that meta range, 25 plus Ballista.
They want to go in, but the bubble is there. They get the vision on the back lines here. The arrow actually catches Box Legion. He can't save anyone for now. The follow-up Vortex is there. Jabs just goes leaping in, looking to do as much damage as he can with the BKB Mirana. He finishes off the Tiny. Death gets sunned up on the axe, and they've taken out two. The triple arrows just wreaking havoc. Usually you don't see this. Usually you see the mid-lane shadow cooldown, but these arrows are landing and making a big difference. Tusk, he gets the blink after the snowball, but he's still going to go down. And TNC going for a big high ground push, get punished.
And Roshan spawns in 5. Every time TNC lose a fight, it's just before Roshan. Like, it was like the 4th time now, I believe.
Well,
They
They
didn't
are
have to force this,
approaching.
right? Like, they wanted to do this.
yeah, and I mean, the TP doesn't want to get too far deep, so once that bubble's on the racks, it feels like there was no killing it anyway, so Fnatic will just get themselves erosion, still have time to perhaps force, well, I guess maybe not force these buybacks. In 50 seconds, we'll see if they do go for some kind of a play down the TNC side of the map.
Did they ever end up getting the last neutral item? No. They need that one. The Ballista would be so good. Like, having Ballista
they-
on TB against Axe, he just can't ever reach you. He just keeps getting knocked back. It's really stupid.
They're going to have to rely on the lockdown if they ever want to deal with this Arc Warden, it feels like. First buyback coming out on the Legion, wanting to make sure they have that save available.
Ah, the Arrow Starfall proc the Aeon Disc of Phoenix. It's actually a pretty big deal.
Okay.
Radiant's middle barracks.
And Raven with the BKB on the high ground. Gabby just getting pushed back. Now he gets pulled in. He gets helped out by the Presti attack, though. Now he gets pulled up, and with the Satanic up, oh, into a call. They get him with the Jewel. Axe Death, he's overstayed
Yes, Ghost
his
has it.
welcome in this Radiant base. Now the kisses come raining in. DJ trying to cover him for the retreat. Jabs in the front lanes with the BKB. They're going to force out an egg. Can they actually kill this Phoenix in time? Boomy, he goes down. He has the buyback immediately. TP forced to buy back. Bok just dying. This Ballista, Raven just unstoppable, keeping everybody at bay. They have to get on top of Raven. This Ballista is just doing too much.
Yeah, way too good. The fact that Terrorblade doesn't have one is just so unfair. He needs it.
Feels like one of those games where, you know, Icerock might be watching and be like, yeah, maybe Ballista was a bad idea, you know? Much like anime, maybe it was a bad idea.
Anime is great. But what do you think about my idea? Okay, anyway, hold that thought. They're still waiting here. Bok, no buyback. This could potentially be the game-ending push.
Yep, now they leave Fnatic playing it safe, fishing with arrows. They get the vision from the Seer Stone. They jump in on Armel. Where's the save? They don't have it. He didn't get the BKB off. It just came right as he died. Instantly buys back. Raven is just his clone committing for this, so it's not really much of a commitment from the Fnatic side. They get another range rack, and they force a buyback. That's the thing. They just keep on forcing buybacks and losing nothing in the process. So hard for TNC to play without this Legion commander press the attack save. Raven trying to maneuver around these tosses. Gabby going in. Got to be careful. The Vortex is there, and he's just dead.
No
That's a
buyback.
dead TP. Boomy forced to egg because an arrow was about to hit him, and they're just going to focus down this egg as well as Armel, who's getting low as well. This could just be game over for Dead. It's about to be a team wipe, and Fnatic, they've done it black. They get the 2-0, an epic best of 3 going the way of the kings of Southeast Asian Dota region. They may have not had the results they were looking for during the DPC season, but Fnatic kind of pick up where they left off. A team that has been at every single TI since TI3. Well, they were at TI3, they were not at TI2, looking to make their way back there. They're in the grand finals. They're not at TI yet, but this game was a big statement, it feels like.
It was. Like, I want to tell you something right now. Okay? I had the exact same game yesterday. Same scenario, same everything. The biggest difference is Raven. Like, he played with his main hero and his clone. You just saw how heroes exploded when he was hitting them with both. It was super well played, and I don't think a lot of people actually have the capability of microing both to the level that he did. So, very well played to Fnatic. You don't have a 1-0 lead in the finals from the winner bracket, right?
No. No advantage, other than getting to sit back.
Boost.
Well, there is an advantage. Actually, correct, and there is an advantage. You get to sit back, watch your opponents, and your opponents have to play that lower bracket finals before the grand final. So it's a much tougher road. But yeah, great play from all Fnatic. Very patient game. They get the win in the end. Guys, a lot to say about this. Hopefully we get a chance to talk to some of the Fnatic boys about playing another crazy 60, 70-minute game. But we're going to head to a quick break and bring Nat back in to break down this series. And we still got one more best of 3, so we have that to look forward to. Stay with us.